forgot he was in. Damn. Sad day. Where is Zealeus? Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing. 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 Something's wrong. Yo. Hold on one sec here.
I don't know if I can hold on.
Oh, that's definitely not good.
I don't know if I can hold on.
Something's wrong. Testing. Testing. Something's wrong. What is going on? Yeah, but what's the... Hmm. I gotta do a quick check here. Alright, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Should have kept...
Right.
Yeah. What in the world? Oh, shit. So I hit the record button and I started counting. The record actually started at 6.
You can count so high that it hurts my brain.
What all is running on my computer right now? Is
I
it
see you're
like
counting for
my
a very
computer
good
just like
control.
backs it out? No, of
Sorry,
course it's
so
9, 10, 5, 6, 7. So what the hell?
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me make sure this is the only thing open here.
Interesting.
Yep, it is. Very strange. Very strange indeed. All right, well. If that's how the computer wants to play, I'm going to hit record now so that we actually get the beginning of the show. Yes. Indubitably. Well, we are not going to be short on topics tonight. That's for friggin' sure.
Well, I don't know what's been going on in the world for the last 2 weeks, so I'm excited to find out. That is why I'm on the podcast. It's probably a wunderbar idea.
Yes. Indeed.
Well, I don't know what's been going on in the world for the last 2 weeks, so I'm excited to find out.
What was that?
That is why I'm on the podcast.
Is your cat killing you?
Cat hair everywhere. Oh. What is? Yuck. Part of her job description.
All right, we ready? All right. Then let us begin. Yes, I hit the recorded button a while ago. But now I have to hit the Zealeus mute button.
And or you've already hit
Hello,
the
ladies and gentlemen.
recorded
Welcome to
button.
another Disc Confusion Thursday night hangout.
Excellent. Oh no.
Aha. Ladies and gentlemen, I, of course, am your host, Charlie, and I'm joined once again by the prolific cover himself, Zealeus. Hola. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Thursday Night Hangouts, a live show where we try our best to cover the topics most important to you during the show.
It is good
At
to
any
be
point
back
during the
on
show,
Thursday,
if
'cause
you
it's
have
the
any
only
topics,
way I
questions,
know
subjects,
what day of the week it
opinions,
is when
please
the
just
show
drop it into
happens
the
to
chat,
happen.
be it on
Outside of
Facebook,
that, it
Twitch,
could be a
or
1/7 chance
YouTube,
to get
and we will
correct.
add it to the show. If we do unfortunately run out of time, we will add it to the very next show. So without
Greetings
further
and
ado,
salutations, good sir.
let us begin. And, even though it's a joyous occasion that we find ourselves here on a Thursday to do the Thursday hangout, we're gonna go with some sad news. How about that? That's what it feels like, my friend. That's what it feels like. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, the amazing actor himself, Donald Sutherland, has passed. Oh.
No, don't tell me you got bad news.
In which film? Because he's been a bad guy in a
Isn't
lot
that
of
all
films.
there is in the world lately? It's just sad
We
news.
talking Hunger
sad
Games?
news, bad news.
That would be President Snow. Snow White. It's close. It's close. Yeah.
He was the perfect. What was the bad guy's name? Well, thank you. Yes. Wow, my brain no worky. Yes, Hunger Games. I kept on thinking President White. I'm like, word association. He was the perfect President Snow.
Absolutely. So sad. It's a sad day. We lose an amazing
the way he
actor
pulled it off. He
with
had the perfect
hell
air
of a
of
long list of
superiority.
movies that he was in.
And yet, even when he knew he'd been defeated,
IMDb
he still
has him
had the
listed
panache
for
about him,
199
especially with how it ended.
projects as an actor.
Yeah, he was just great in that role. And other roles he's been in too, of course.
Indeed. All right, so let's go right into some. Let's change complete gears. Let's go do a 180. And for those out there who found a certain anime very interesting on Netflix,
Damn.
Delicious in Dungeon has been confirmed to have a second
That
season.
is quite prolific indeed. Yes.
Delicious in Dungeon, it's fun. Yeah, and so I'm very excited to see they're going to have a second season because I will be very interested to see what other dungeon critters that they will uh, flambe and
I think we're only
roast
talking about the story
and
because of
stew
Charlie.
and fry and whatever else they're going to
I
do.
just know you mentioned it a few times that you absolutely
So
love it.
I'm excited. Well, unfortunately, I do not have red dragon meat, readily available. Or what was the other one? Living armor or mandrake root.
Does this ever give you some good dinner ideas to cook around the house?
Touche, sir. Touche. Anyways, so of course,
That
it's
is
in
quite a
production.
disappointment, sir.
Don't know when they'll actually,
I
of
think
course,
you
they
need to go
don't
hunt
have an
harder in your free
actual
time.
release date for
I
the
mean, they
second
exist in Harry
season,
Potter,
but
so ergo they
there
exist in real life.
is news all over the place stating that there's going to be a second season. So, yes. Now, man, I feel like I'm ping ponging back and forth between happy news and sad news. Yes. So there was a gentleman that
Sometime in the
was
2020s.
quite the YouTuber called the Comic Storian. He was how do I describe it?
Oh, so I'm guessing we're getting some sad news now.
He basically did dramatic comic book readings. He did audio dramas featuring characters from DC and Marvel. He had nearly 4,000 videos in his decade of YouTubing, and he has unfortunately tragically passed. It was a one-car accident where apparently his car flipped several times. So it is very unfortunate. Also, it's one of those few YouTubers who actually added like
Wow.
worthwhile content to this world instead of the
Oh,
mass like crap
yikes.
crap ton of junk that's on there.
That is very
It's literally
unfortunate
just like
indeed.
clickbait. Yeah. Watch me throw a rock off this bridge and see what happens. Oh no, look. It's so silly. We broke someone's windshield. Oh my god. Aren't we crazy?
You mean the
No.
shock value of basically what it takes now to be a star?
Yeah. But yeah. All right, we're gonna do. I think this is the nope. Let's just get all the bad stuff out of the way, shall we? I'm sorry. The
car crashes.
just
No good.
just to try to get all the bad stuff out of the
Especially
way.
flipping. That's dumb.
There is a game company called Galvanic Games. Their true claim to fame was Wizard with a Gun. They have, huh?
Oh, you're gonna make me cry,
They
sir. In the first
unfortunately
15
had
minutes
to
of the show,
release a
it's a good thing
statement
I'm
saying
drinking.
it's with a heavy heart that we announced the closure of our studio despite the promising start of Wizard with a Gun. Sales are not strong enough to sustain the studio. The last year has been particularly tough for games. While we had numerous encouraging conversations at
Not
DICE
heard of it,
and
gonna be honest.
GDC, the process of signing new projects,
I've not
even
heard
in
of
a
it, gonna
good
be
year,
honest.
takes longer than the runway we had left. Working with Devolver Digital, which is the publisher, was a dream come true for us. Together, we created a game I'm incredibly proud of. There is a certain bittersweetness to knowing that we accomplished all the things we set out to do when we founded Galvanic in 2015. So it's been around for 9 years. From launching unique, weird, and interesting games to collaborating with some of my favorite people in the industry, all while building a tight knit, productive team focused on a healthy and creative culture. They, of course, are this is a letter from the president. Patrick Morgan, and of course, he is in the process of trying to help all those individuals who are being displaced because of the studio closure. Um, they're trying very very hard. He's trying very very hard to help them find a landing spot. So he's not going to leave them high and dry. He's going to try his best.
Yeah, it always sucks when companies like that close because it also means real people losing jobs.
Yep.
Essentially, not within exit plan, so to speak, out of that.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Now, one more, and then I promise we're going to talk about something happy. I promise. Now this one
Yeah,
is
it always
kind of
sucks when
sad, but at the same time,
companies like that close because it also
it
means
revolves
real
around a
people
topic
losing
that Zealeus and I
jobs.
have been talking a lot about.
Um,
Of course, it's a topic
Essentially,
that's
not
been
within exit plan,
like
so to
front and
speak,
center in
out
a
of
lot
that.
of the different media uh, industry. Like video games and books and art and TV shows and movies, and that of course is AI. The latest thing is Disney Plus just recently released a show called Star Wars Acolyte, and it is getting completely reviewed bombed to hell. Now, why did I say AI? And now why am I talking about review bomb? Well, it turns out that someone is out there utilizing um, AI generated reviews. Uh, Basically, they're using like a Chat GPT or something with that basically does basic plot synopsis made from brand new accounts, and of course, giving them like 0 stars. Because look, here's the deal. Uh, it's a cattail. Um, okay, and now back to the Star Wars stuff.
Oh,
No, the thing is, um, Star Wars universe has been around for a long, long time. Okay, and they want to continue um, to evolve it. And I know they've retcons of stuff, and then like, do you, okay if you go back on a retcon, you just
we have a guest on
like
the show.
unretcon. Like, how does that work? But decon, retcon, or do you the retcon? Retcon. Anyways, so AI is um uh
Decon, D-Retcon, Retcon.
yeah, yep.
I, oh,
Hitting up IMDb, Rotten Tomatoes, and Metacritic. Yeah.
so instead of using like individuals, because in the past you've had video games where it's like you and I go, I mean, we don't actually do it, but you have like the actual real person going on like Steam and giving it, what is it, thumbs down with a terrible review. But now you're having basically a AI overlord creating accounts to do the same thing. Is essentially what's happening. Yeah, that's where it's tricky. Like even like
Right.
being able to rely on Amazon reviews nowadays is a very sketchy proposition because there's so many fake accounts that created by real people, competitors potentially, in terms of sabotage.
Right.
It can be really hard to know like what is a real review versus a fake review. Uh, yeah,
Yep.
even like on so slightly related, I watched Rebel Moon Part 2 when it came out.
Yeah.
It's pretty terrible. So for fun, I started watching some YouTube reviews of like how bad it is, right? Just because I thought it was funny. And since then, because YouTube likes to create its algorithm based off of what you watched, now I always see this ad for this one show for this one YouTube channel. I'm not gonna name it because don't need to get in a pissing match. But basically, you can tell that their whole shtick is basically flaming anything that's not just
So huge
basically
supporters of
straight
Michael Bay movies.
homeboys going around blowing shit up. Anything other than that is like basically a woke agenda. It's one of those reviews. You can just tell by like the highlights of the reviews that they don't like anything that's anything outside of like normal
You know what the
relationships
funny thing is?
or
That,
just
that
normal
speaking of
stuff
Bad Boys
blowing
2, I
up.
know this,
And I'm
we're
just
getting a
like,
little
okay,
sidetracked,
you
but
clearly have an agenda.
apparently
That now I'm seeing like,
Hollywood has decided that
pretty
Will
much,
Smith
yes. Like
can
they were
still
super
be good
excited
on
by,
screen
which I saw. It was
as
a
a
terrible
result
movie, by
of
the
the
way.
new
The new
Bad
Bad
Boys.
Boys
So
movie is
he's now
absolutely
being tagged in
trash,
a new sci-fi
and they gave it
movie.
high praise because you could tell that it was mindless. I'm like, okay, I know everything I need to know about this channel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, here's what. So I've watched all the Bad Boys movies. Usually I like them. Like the first Bad Boys, it's one of the best action flicks. Like it is truly good. Um, but this one, it just tried too hard. Like I feel like in the past, like the jokes and like the buddy cop thing, like it
Mhm.
was organic. It just kind of worked in the flow of the like it was an action film first that had the good like back and forth banter, and it worked. Even like the first one had Tia Leone, and like they just had perfect chemistry, and it worked. Whereas in this one, it's like they tried
Yeah.
making a comedy first that then threw in action sequences. It's like they reversed it. And I dislike it when movies do that because it's obvious. And when they're trying really hard to have the jokes, to me, they fall flat in that regard. Um, so that's my take on the new Bad Boys movie. Was not very impressed with it. Anyways, going back,
Yep.
because that's all I've seen of Acolyte, is basically I haven't actually watched the reviews, but I can tell like all the YouTube reviews have trashed it. And to be fair, most of those YouTube channels, you can tell, to your point,
Mhm.
the videos that get the most likes on their channels are the ones that are basically trashing TV shows, whatever they are. You kind of look through there, you can like view by popularity, and it's always like, this was terrible. Tend to be the reviews from any
Mhm.
channel that get the most views, which I think is kind of telling also. It's kind of the issue you have with sports journalism nowadays, where it's like the TV shows that they get the most hits are the ones that have the most brain dead, not even controversial, just brain dead,
Mhm.
stupid opinions. I'm not calling them controversial because they're just
Yeah,
fucking dumb, but that's what gets the eyeballs. Like
I'm
it is.
assuming
And I
that
don't think that what you're talking about is
to
any
beat
different,
the
where they
I am not a
know that
robot, check
having a
the
review
box
bomb is what
here.
gets the
Someone is
eyeballs. And it's
literally,
unfortunate because people are going to see
I don't
that,
know,
and that's what they take as being
figured out how
true,
to get around that.
basically.
Or these sites don't have the CAPTCHA, which I fucking hate CAPTCHA. Where there is a will. Yeah. Yep.
I mean, will there's a way
Mhm.
where there is a will, there's a way. And it's like one thing if you're having to go to a bunch of, I think like, because they issue a lot of websites, a lot of automated bots, their issue with CAPTCHAs is when you're, let's just say you're looking at 100 websites with a spider, right? If 50 of those have CAPTCHAs, you can't spend your time figuring out
Yep.
all 50 of those CAPTCHAs. But in this
Yep.
case, they're probably just going to like one or two review websites like
Yep.
Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb. And now you have to worry about is automating that one CAPTCHA is a very different scale. Or maybe you just have one person where, I mean,
Mhm.
it could be just job of one person. Okay, AI rates the fake review. I'm just clicking, right? The fake review, clicking. That's probably more than likely what's happened. Review comes up in 2 seconds and just it takes me half a second to click. And it's probably the same place every single
Yeah.
time. So
Yep.
yeah, and the other part that sucks is like I love looking at reviews,
Yep.
but when it's clear, especially like video games, I spend a lot of time looking at reviews. Um, I feel like for the most part, Steam has a pretty reliable user base, especially
Right.
because you
Yeah.
can read the
Yeah. And
reviews,
then
right?
also
Like
if
you
you
can
have a
kind of tell
free
pretty
key, it
quickly
doesn't
like
actually
whether or not
affect
they're copy and pasted,
the rating of the
versus
review.
whether or not they're kind of like legitimate reviews. Um, so I still rely heavily on Steam. for my reviews. Because you also have to purchase it through Steam or have a key, or if you have like a key,
Yeah.
like a free key, it tells you also from the review.
I know it's old.
So I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
No,
I think
I
that
have
helps.
not.
Where
I have not.
you know,
I
where you have
have
that cost
been.
of entry definitely makes a difference
What have I been
to be able to
watching?
leave a review.
I've been watching. Ninja Kamui.
Yeah. It's hard to know what's true anymore, man. Are the reviews fake? Are they real? I don't know.
Nice.
It's yeah. Have you seen Acolyte? I don't even know. I don't think it's less than much.
I'm sorry. Every single time I think White Collar, I immediately want to go back and rewatch Chuck.
I have been rewatching White Collar. It's like the perfect lunch show. And then you get done with lunch and you have half an episode to watch. So naturally that evening you have to finish up that half episode. But oh wait, there's a cliffhanger. So you gotta know what's happening in the next episode.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's totally legitimate.
What about Morgan?
Chuck is
or Jeffster, man. What about the band
show.
Jeffster?
I was actually watching it on Amazon Prime at one time.
Anyways,
then it went off. It might be on again.
The next topic,
commercials, which I'm not going to do.
This is going to be an opinion one for Zealeus, and that is,
I love you,
ladies
Chuck,
and gentlemen,
and Sarah, and Casey.
We knew this is coming, but the IOC, that would be the
you're right. Yeah.
The International Olympic Committee.
Sorry, man. There's just so many great people I can't remember.
Set to vote on the creation of Olympic esports games. All right.
No. Sorry, just no. Like, I mean,
I thought chess was.
Maybe I'm old school
I thought that
or
was
traditionalist, but
either
going to
be in this one or in the next one.
I think robots, like BattleBot, should be in the Olympics before esports. And I don't think, and to be clear, I don't think BattleBot should be in the Olympics either. But, or hell, chess should be in the Olympics before esports. Is it? Well, they do this weird thing now where, like, I guess or maybe they've always done it, I don't know. But I know they keep on, like, adding and taking out sports. And, like, I know they had softball one year. And then, like, I don't even know. They took out wrestling, which I don't know how you take wrestling from Olympics. I'm sorry. Like, wrestling is the OG Olympic sport. And obviously the marathon. But, like, I don't know how you take out wrestling. Anyways, sorry. Like, and this isn't taking away from esports. Like, I'm fine with esports as a livelihood, etc. If you can do it, but to me, Olympics should be a showcase of physical prowess. And esports has many things, but sorry, the ability to use your thumbs and fingers alone on a mouse and keyboard to me is not an Olympic sport. It's just not. Sorry, I know. God, if I had a stick, I'd wave it at you to get off my damn lawn. So my answer is unequivocally no. I guess the interesting question would be, if they did esports, what would it be? Would it be Call of Duty? Would it be League of Legends?
Okay, so
would it be Overwatch? Like, what would it actually be if they did an esport? I don't know if they actually mentioned that, but
will be a part of the Paris Olympics this summer.
But no, in no world do I consider esports.
So will breaking, surfing, skateboarding, and sport
That's just
climbing.
My old traditionalist get off my lawn boomer opinion.
I don't know. I'm gonna click on this link and try to figure out what the hell breaking is. Yeah, it's breakdancing. Will be at the Olympics.
Okay, that is news to me. Breakdancing?
And
See,
skateboard,
those
they're just trying to kill
those all
the
require
X Games.
athletic feats of strength and endurance and et cetera, et cetera. And I know people be like, but it takes endurance to play for hours on it. Okay, whatever. Get off my lawn.
Shaun White.
I'm okay with those. I mean, rock climbing, yes, that's hardcore sport. Surfing, you try to go out to fucking surf. Good luck. I remember when the X Games were huge in the 90s, man. Like Tony Pastrana, you had Tony White, what's his name? Shaun White. I mean,
baseball and softball.
Tony Hawk,
be
obviously. I
back,
mean, those
too.
guys were like living gods for a while with their
I knew
popularity
they
due
took
to
it
the X
away
Games.
during the COVID Olympics.
So those being in, sure, go for it. Adding them to the Olympics. My guess is those will be some that like get changed in and out. Because it seems that's kind of like the theme now. It's kind of add and take away some sports, see what sticks, I guess.
Yeah,
I know. I don't know.
To be honest with you,
I could go either way on baseball and softball being Olympics. I mean,
it's an audience.
Like I'm okay with them being an Olympic
to get
sport,
the younger
but like
kids,
if they're not in there, that's like a big
into
whoop to
the
me.
digital gaming space.
What do you?
That's not to say
what do you
that,
think of the
there's not-
esports
there's
being in the
not
Olympics?
kids out there who are growing up who are becoming weightlifters and surfers and skateboarders. There's still got those, but you got a lot of people at home who all they do is game, or all they do is watch YouTube videos of people game, or Twitch, or name some other streaming website. If it, yeah. That's a very good question.
So the basically I see two problems with it. One is, I think I'm totally stereotyping here. Are South Koreans still the masters of like esports in general? Because for a while they were like they're. I mean, when esports were kind of nascent, they dominated the scene. Because I mean, remember, esports, if it's in the Olympics, they're going to be by country. And so, like,
okay, here we
it's
go.
going to be
I found
very
the top 10.
few countries.
I've got the top 10 for the
are going to
best
dominate the
countries for
entirety of
2024
esports, whatever it is. If
esports.
it's Call of Duty, League of, it doesn't matter.
Let's start
like,
at
it's going to
10.
be very small. It's going to be like
so we can do the count.
South Korea, China.
Number 10.
I'm guessing Japan, probably
Canada.
United States. Like, it's going to be a
Number
very
9.
small subset
Germany.
of countries.
Number 8.
That are going to have
France.
any success.
Okay. I don't see that as a.
Let's go.
Yeah. Number 7, Sweden.
Okay, I like it.
Number 6, Denmark.
All right.
Number 5. Here's a little bit of a different one. Brazil.
Okay.
Number 4, Russia.
Sure.
I don't know.
We're just picking random European countries now. Let's go.
Yes, but
more European countries.
Yeah, it's
yeah, let's go.
You're
Netherlands
you
area.
cannot represent your country, but you are.
Okay, I'm not surprised about that.
So Russia is
that
number
makes
4.
sense.
Number 3. Wait, that can't be right.
Are they even allowed to compete in the Olympics? I don't even know.
Japan's not in the top 10? That can't be right.
Anyway,
number 3 is South Korea. Number 2 is USA. And number 1, by a large margin, is China.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Like the top 3 since Japan, you think would be in there.
Well,
like that makes total
definitely
sense to me.
Some of the
it's going to be a very lopsided thing, but would be interesting in that
I totally
like you look at esports teams, they're usually made up of like
what the name of the
it's a
game
cosmopolitan
is right
type of
now,
team.
They're
and
one of
have
the
it
top
truly by
teams. I think
country
it's like
could be kind of interesting to see,
they
actually.
got like one American. I think it's a 5v5 with two alternates. So it's one American, two South Koreans, someone a Denmark guy, China, and maybe like Italy or something is the starting five. I mean, it is an internet. I mean, esports has gone, of course, international, but yeah, or Twitch. They're gonna be on Peacock on YouTube. Right.
But I think the other thing, you actually mentioned a really good point when you mentioned how the kids watch. And I'm assuming, going on here, Olympics aren't being hosted on YouTube or Twitch. How do, and what's the only way, like,
Yeah.
anybody under 18 basically watches anything nowadays? Or Twitch if they're watching esports.
To be totally honest with you, you've got
so
the
you're
Olympic
right.
Committee
I
would
agree.
have
It's
to
totally
do a
an
deal
eye
with the
grabber
streaming
for
platform.
the younger
And I'm not talking
generation.
about Peacock.
But if it's not
because
on,
I know they have a
basically
deal with
something that
NBC
is
and
readily
NBC is
available right
being a
here. I mean, I
bunch
know
of
you can get Peacock,
dickweeds
obviously,
and going,
but basically
most
it's
of
right
the
here
stuff
on my
that you
Twitch
want
or
to watch is
YouTube.
not going to be on
Like,
Peacock, so
honestly,
you need
they're
to sign
not
up
going
for
to
blah,
probably
blah,
know what's
blah,
going
blah,
on.
blah.
You might know what's going on, but they're not going to care. Um,
Yeah. No.
Yeah, they're definitely all in on making Peacock a sports. They want people to subscribe because of sports. Yeah.
Which is kind of funny
Yeah, so
because
it'll be
they're trying
interesting
to
to
pull in a new
see.
crowd, but they want to
But
keep
I
the old
highly
model.
doubt. My guess is NBC/Peacock is not going to give up any streaming rights because they're going to put their blinders on, and be like, nope, we paid $80 billion for it. Therefore, it's all going to be on us and cannot diversify at all because it's a bunch of old curmudgeons who don't really. Yeah. You're right. It needs to be on.
I think the other thing is that
probably Twitch or
on those
YouTube, but
two
I'd be shocked
stream
if it
platforms
is.
that
It's
you
just kind of
listed,
I think it'd be awesome. Like,
there's
honestly,
also
like,
a chat room
I don't care what sport it is
that goes
if
along with it.
esport was on
So you
Twitch or
have a
YouTube,
lot more
I'd tune in and watch it because
interaction.
that'd actually
and,
be really cool to see. I'd be like, hell yeah, I'm gonna come watch it, and they'll be, yeah, it's cool. Like, I would check that out and see what it's all about.
Yes, it would. Now, of course, in my mind, I'm thinking because a lot of the esports games out there are team based.
Live during
So
it.
if you're gonna trying to go to represent your country,
that could be some interesting moderation. But yeah,
it would be very interesting because
so the more I
feel
think
like
about it, I
like
still don't
certain
think esports should be
countries
an Olympic
produce
sport.
better
But I gotta be honest,
DPS
it'd be interesting to watch.
or better tanks or better healers or better support. And so you have like maybe this world-renowned team of all these amazing people, but everyone plays like flank or DPS or something. And their weakness is whatever.
Mm.
Yeah. 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 Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. I remember.
Well, I know it
I don't
happens
know
in other
if
team
anyone
sports, like,
remembers
say,
out there,
basketball, but it'd also be a
many, many years
situation
ago
of
when
going up
you had
against, like, your
DraftKings
esport teammate in the
FanDuel
Olympics.
trying to
Would be
dip
kind of,
their
like,
toe into the
entertaining.
esports pool.
Especially,
I
like,
was into that.
people who
I mean,
really
I
follow
barely
esports would probably
watched
get a kick out of it.
any like esports, and then I kind of had this. Now I had a stake. The fantasy betting type of situation. I don't think that exists anymore, but it was fun for the year it was there. Anyways, okay, moving on. But and I guess okay. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, I think that as long as the IOC, it's interesting that they're thinking about doing esports, but until they're willing to be super duper flexible on how they stream, like Zealeus and I were talking about, yeah, you can add new stuff to the Olympics to try to pull in the newer crowd, but the newer crowd does not watch stuff like the older people do. I almost said we, but I'm not old. Gosh darn it. Well, you keep telling yourself that too, sir. Because soon enough, you'll join the ranks of slightly older. Again. Whatever, man. All right, we're going to pause for half a second to thank the individuals who help Alter Confusion be the Alter Confusion that you love and adore.
You keep telling yourself that,
give
sir.
some shout-outs to the friends of the show. And to start off, we have the Indie Cluster. The Indie Cluster is an organization of independent game developers that want to gain exposure by being involved in the community.
I don't know what you're talking about, man.
Collectively journey to popular conferences as a traveling booth to help gain attention for their games. They make partnerships in local communities to bring games to the mainstream mindset. They highlight local, unusual, and rare concepts that challenge the paradigm of the common. They also host events to teach kids and minority groups about game development to hopefully one day enter the industry themselves. For more information, go to indiecluster.com. The next shout out we got to give is to the AV master himself. That would be Noodle Boy Media. Founded in 2015 by Andrew Tran, Noodle Boy Media, previously White Kid 47 Media, is your choice for professional photo shoots and panel recordings at conventions. They pride themselves in providing a high level of professionalism, top-notch experiences, and quality services. If you want more information and to view their full list of services, check out facebook.com/noodleboymedia. The next one I've got to give a shout out to is a gentleman who is actually here today to help adjust and take away all those aches and pains from long gaming sessions, both IRL and behind the keyboard and mouse. That, of course, is Hero Chiropractic. Hero Chiropractic's unique healthcare practice set up by Ryan Moore, the company's focus to elevate a patient's experience of freedom, creative expression, and joy. They believe that everyone can be a hero and has incredible heroic potential inside themselves waiting to be unleashed. Hero Chiropractic focuses on the mobile chiropractic care in the greater Atlanta area. They are committed to healing clients by creating a plan of action uniquely suited for each person. They make that plan of action as convenient and affordable as possible, and most importantly, suited to your individual needs. For more information, go to herochiropractic.com. The next shout out we got to give is to the music maestro himself, Crosspad Creative. Need a new logo or want to work on a full branding and content strategy? Or maybe you need music or audio for your content. Crosspad Creative offers a whole host of solutions for individuals and small businesses. Just email Josh at crosspadcreative@gmail.com and see what he can do for you. And the final shout out we got to give is to the original supporter of Alter Confusion when we started our Patreon page, and that, of course, is Agile Axiom. By day, Axe leads both a development team and system administration team working with satellites at NASA's Goddard campus. But while not in meetings and many times during, he's the Agile evangelist, Agile Axe, championing the philosophy of Agile and trying to make the world a better place for software developers, testers, system admins, and software projects the world over. Decades of experience in software development and leading Agile teams are brought to bear against evil processes, inefficient work, and bad habits. For more information, go to agileaxiom.com. Now, of course, at this point, you've got to be asking yourself, how do I become a friend of the show? I must know. Well, it's quite simple, my friends. You can become a friend of the show by becoming a patron. Alter Confusion survives on the love and support of fans like you, and so we have a Patreon page. Patreon lets you, the fans, lovers, haters, demigods, interdimensional beings, gods, demons, aliens, werewolves, mummies, swamp creatures, vampires, supporters, and more to become active participants in the work we love through a monthly membership. This gives you access to exclusive content, community, and insight into our creative process. In exchange, we gain a bit more freedom to do our best work and the stability we need to build an even stronger creative career. There are currently 2 levels that you can pledge at. There is the $1 a month level. It's $1 a month or $12 a year. What that gets you is early access to all of our playthroughs, as well as the ability to participate in patron-only posts. Now, if you're feeling extra frisky and you want your name in the spotlight, ladies and gentlemen, there's the $5 tier. It's $5 a month or $60 a year, and that gets your name or organization added to the Friends of the Show section of every single Thursday night hangout, as well as everything at the $1 level. So if you want to become a patron of Altered Confusion, go to Patreon. That's patreon.com/Altered Confusion today. The last Altered Confusion shout out we also got to talk about is, ladies and gentlemen, Altered Confusion is proud to say that we have been fundraising for Extra Life for 13 years straight. Extra Life is gamers doing what they do best, game, to help sick and injured children at their chosen Children's Miracle Network hospital. The money that we raise through Extra Life will go directly to Children's Healthcare of Atlanta as unrestricted funds. This means that the hospital decides where and how to spend the money to ensure the dollars we raise make the biggest impact in the lives of the kids they treat. So if you have the capacity to donate, please go to extra-life.org and search for Altered Confusion today. Whoop, there we go. All right. Now. Oh, also, ladies and gentlemen, if you want a sweet piece of Altered Confusion merchandise, all you got to do, I'm not wearing my hat, but we've got an Altered Confusion hat, a vinyl sticker, a dog bowl, a coffee cup, a journal, sandals. All you got to do is go to alteredconfusion.tv/merch. That's MERCH. And you can see the whole host of awesome Altered Confusion stuff you can have. No, I do not. But I was actually planning on getting the dog bowl within the next week, because we need a new dog bowl for one of my dogs. So we're gonna Altered Confusion it, baby. All right.
Do you own all of those yet?
There is one more bit of sad news for some. For
How is
others,
that possible, sir?
It's going to be a head scratcher. Ladies and gentlemen, I am sad to report that an MMO that has been running for many, 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 many years, and by many, many, many years, I mean 10 years, Arc Age is shutting down on June 27th, 2024. So you have a week to play Arc Age, or get your, jump back in, see if there's any end of life events. The developers behind the game, KCOW Games, is offering refunds to some players who purchased the game before the announcement. So I'm assuming it's probably within a certain amount of time. Like if you bought the game in the past year, then they're probably going to give you a refund, would be my guess. But I don't know. This game was considered a sand park RPG, which of course means that it was a sandbox content and a theme park playstyle. I'm going to be totally honest with you, I've never played the game, so I couldn't tell you if that's actually true or if they were just trying to go for buzzwords. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, this is another World of Warcraft clone, basically. That's how I felt about it. Like, I know they tried doing things differently, but as far as like the combat and everything else went, I was just like,
I remember when I got burnt out from WoW, I remember Arcade came out and I briefly played it for like not even a month probably. And I was like, well, this is another World of Warcraft clone, basically. That's how I felt about it. Like, I know they tried doing things differently, but as far as like the combat and everything else went, I was just like, oh, wow, it's the same thing. Because it's kind of that theme park. I know they tried doing a little bit more sandboxy for player agency, but overall, it just felt like another WoW clone, of which there have been many over the years, and many of which have failed because they're not basically WoW or Final Fantasy 14. And then they basically kind of just tread water for years, or it can be like, oh, what is that game called? damn it. There's an MMO. I can't think of it now at the top of my head, but the day, Blessed gets released. I've never heard of it, but it's an MMO. And it gets re-released every like 3 years under like Blessed Unleashed. Blessed, I don't know, a new title of Blessed, and it's like a reskin revamp of it. And they keep on like trying to do the same exact game that has epically
Speaking of
failed
epic
3 years
fails,
ago. Yeah.
let's
But again,
change
it's just
gears
like playing
and
WoW or
talk
Final
about
Fantasy
the fact
14. It's just
that
kind of MMO. So I played it. I
there
tried it
was a
10 years
money
ago.
projection released
I have
about
no
how
idea what
much
it's like in
money
the last 9.5
Warner
years.
Brothers Studios has lost
But
over
when I
the
came
video
out, I
game
got bored of it pretty
Suicide
quickly.
Squad Kill the Justice League. You want to take a guess at how much money they have lost since they released it? God dang it! Are you reading the article? Because yes, it's exactly 200. It is $200 million. It is $25 million more than the
Oh,
original
geez.
2016 movie cost to make.
$200 million. I think I saw. I think I actually. I think I've ever seen that headline somewhere, to be honest.
Yep.
Like, I really wonder, like, when they make this game, just like, did anybody actually play test the game? Like, did they actually give it to a person outside the four walls of Warner Brothers who aren't just yes people because they don't want to lose their jobs? Nothing up against them, but I get it. You don't want to lose your job. So, like, did they actually have any play testers or any actual feedback to be like
Yeah.
whether or not this was a good or bad game? Because, like all the Batman Arkham games, we know it's possible to have a good game in the DC universe. Yes, it always sucks because the other thing you get when you get a game like this that's put so much money into it, it's also going to make developers and publishers in the future much more hesitant to put big time resources into a game, particularly a novel game, a different game, a unique game, because they're going to look at this as the poster child of losing too much money. And so they're just going to want to go create Call of Duty 18, Assassin's Creed 42, Pokemon Neon Green versus Plaid. They're just going to keep on making iterations of a franchise. Now, granted, this is part of the Arkham, so it's already kind of in that world, but it just creates more and more pressure not to do something interesting.
From what I've heard,
or have a new franchise come out. So,
ladies and gentlemen, let me explain something. When you are trying to create any type of product,
I mean, it's when you look at epic fails, you look at the player base.
Planning,
it was like I remember reading the stats. It was like 2,000 people within a couple of weeks. So it was just absolutely ridiculous numbers.
Apparently, one of the biggest problems was that everything kept pivoting, and then on like different. The game was supposed to be first and foremost a melee type game, and then when it was released, it's more gun oriented. There was just stuff that was. It was one of those situations that it's what it sounds like, that one of the big wigs were going, you know what would be cool if we did this like this game does. And apparently the guy who was the game director literally would take months to review like changes and updates. So they couldn't get sign off on any of this stuff. Yeah, hell yeah.
Especially if you got like people above you making choices, and I mean, probably a lot of the game developers, like they probably saw these changes, were like, "This is dumb. This is not going to work." That's frustrating. And especially if you got like people above you
Yeah.
making choices. And I mean, probably a lot of the game developers, like they probably saw these changes. We're like,
No idea.
this is dumb. This is not going to work. But when the big wig above it is telling you to do something, what do you do? Okay. Um,
Probably because Warner Bros. won't
I wonder what is the
allow
cost of it on
for a
Steam right
discount
now? Kind of
because
curious.
they're going to try to make back their money. Several employees adopted the term toxic positivity to describe the culture of the company,
Like right now, yeah,
which
Suicide
discouraged
Squad, Kill the
criticism.
Justice League. It's still $70 on Steam.
Yep.
Mm. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, that could be, it's tough because, at any company, if you're an employee, it is really hard to create a culture where, particularly when you have people above you who can, cut your strings at any time, creating a culture where you can give your honest, constructive feedback about decisions you don't agree with, knowing that you're able to make your voice heard without any repercussions. They might not listen to you, and that's fine. I mean, but at least be able to say what your piece is to give your feedback. I think it's an important part of a company culture. So, like, I think everyone wants to work at a company. Not everyone, but most people who are saying want to work at a company where there is a positive culture. But I think there's a difference to your point of positive culture and a
Right.
toxic positivity where it discourages negative feedback because, like, constructive feedback and criticism of decisions that make no sense are a good thing. Now, obviously, if you're going like, well, this is bloody retarded, and you're a moron for making this decision, obviously, it's not the right way to approach it. Like, there's certainly good ways to do it, but if you're just like, this is not a good decision because of reason X, Y, Z. Look at this as an example. You come like working for a company who allows that type of positive, constructive feedback. I think it's good for company morale, if anything, honestly, because then employees feel like they can actually give their honest feedback and not walking on eggshells everywhere.
And you've got to be in an environment where
So to your point, maybe
and
not surprising
have the
at all.
confidence to feel
If there
like
is that type of feedback loop where you're not allowed to give
it's
criticism,
actually going to be taken into
and
consideration.
everybody's afraid to speak up when they see bad decisions being made. Yeah, I mean, for me, even if it's not taken into consideration, I can honestly be fine with it because it's like at least I got my voice heard. I think it's more so are the bigwigs above me? Do they have such a fragile ego? Because I think that's what a lot of it comes down to, honestly, is the bigwigs, if they have such that fragile ego, that's I think where you become. Well, I think that's where that trepidation of being able to give your opinion is. Because if it's not my opinion, imagine I'm the bigwig, I have my opinions, and now you, Charlie, give me that opinion, and I'm now threatened by your opinion because it disagrees with my Sermon on the Mount, my almighty opinion.
And to be able to have a game the
humility
that is
as a
on
leader,
Steam
realizing
right now.
I don't know
called
everything.
Soul Masks. It is it's an online survival game. And if you do naughty no-no
discussion
things
of what
in it,
work culture
and,
and all that fun stuff.
Of course, you can no longer play the game. You get a permanent ban or a temp ban.
Oh.
But the developers are taking it a step further. And I want Zealeus' opinion on this. Not only, of course, are they banning these individuals, but the developers are posting a list that goes into detail of both the reason for the ban and the Steam ID of the player, though some digits are removed to make sure that the exact account cannot be identified. What do you think, Zealeus? I think I'm glad that they're not giving exact Steam IDs out. I mean that could get super toxic, but I'm sure that you could kind of put two and two together by if you've got a buddy with a name like I don't know Bubbles the Booger Monkey 0572, and you see Bubbles the Booger Monkey and doing it for I don't know wall hacks or something. You can kind of figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, but I think transparency is a good thing, but at the same time, I also feel like sometimes too information is not actually. We were just talking about toxic positivity. Like this could just create toxic negativity, like almost create too much of a negative feedback loop. Like if they give general reasons, like they got banned for wall hacks, banned for duping, cool, whatever. But I think you start getting that detailed, I think that can definitely lead to the negative unintended consequences.
Or you have people with way too much time on their hands, and they
I would be okay if they just posted the reason and
do
they had
internet
zero
sleuthing and
identifiable
find
information.
the Steam ID numbers.
Because at that point, when they start listing names, even with digits omitted, then it becomes like a puzzle game. Or you get worse, where like the wrong account gets outed for it.
Right. Though I do have a question, and I don't know the answer to this.
You can troll through and figure out.
Knock on wood. I've never been banned from a game.
Own that game.
If I get banned from a game that's on Steam,
you could actually be like, these are missing.
It's still listed as my game, right? It doesn't revoke my access.
These
it's just
missing,
when I try to
or
log
like
in.
these identifiable by digits is this one account. Voila, we know whose account it is. So I'm not. Yeah. I would think so.
Never know. Never know. Anyways, it's called Soul Mask. Yes, let's not do that.
I would assume, it's just like at the authentication level when you go to the online server that you get blocked.
Let's talk about one other game on Steam that is causing all kinds of weird stuff to happen. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have not tried the game Banana,
remind me not to get banned from
on
Soul
Steam,
Mask.
I don't know what to tell you. I haven't. I'll be totally honest with you, but apparently it is literally a banana that you click.
One of my goals
in life. When you click enough on it, you can open up the ability to gain new skins to spice up your banana. And apparently some skins can be, I think they might be tradable, maybe?
What game?
And you can make Monet. Apparently, let's see here. While most skins might sell for 3 cents, some prices have increased to dozens, even hundreds of dollars. The top skin for in Banana, the game, is around $1,200.
Honestly, that's kind of cool. If they were to come up with it looks like a clicker game.
Yep.
So if they're able to create a unique take on it, it sounds like I guess it's driven by the community. I say cool.
Now the problem is that I think what's they I don't know what the concurrent
I mean,
number is right
honestly,
now, but
that's
at the
kind of
time of this
cool.
article
If
that I'm reading,
they were
it
to
was
come up with, it looks like a clicker
400,000
game. So if they're
players.
able to create a unique take on
But
it,
the vast
it sounds
majority of
like I guess
them
it's driven
were
by the
bots
community. I say cool.
with a script that just basically clicks all day, all night, so that you can get those rare loot drops. Okay, so I just scrolled down the article. It said that only a third of the users are actual
right.
users. The rest are bots. So 2/3 of the 400,000 are
just have like
somebody's bots.
I
are
mean, those
set
are
up
easy to
click,
do.
click, click, click
To
away.
have a clicker on your device and just click nonstop.
Banana. Sometimes it's the simplest stuff that does the best. Yep.
Nice. I mean, remember, one of the first big clicker games was Cookie Clicker. And you're literally clicking a cookie. So that's all it takes, like a simple, novel idea that catches on. It looks like from this game, like they're heavily leveraging their
So there
Discord
has been some
help
movie
create these
news
banana
as of
skins.
late. There is going
And
to
like
apparently be
that's
another
a great way of
Uncharted
engaging your
movie,
community and
which,
creating
if
that
you're
like
on our Discord
feedback
channel,
loop of then they tell their
you
friends
know
to go
that
get their
I
banana
thought the
skins. I
movie
think
was
it's
great,
rad.
but
I
I
love
don't
it.
think that it should have been called Uncharted. And I still hold fast to the fact that Tom Holland is not Nathan Drake. I don't care if he thinks that's what his character's name is. It's not Nathan Drake. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
You know what's funny is like the
Yep.
preview of Borderlands. It's like from the producers of three mediocre movies, basically. Like Uncharted, I forget that, like Venom, and like one other movie where I was like, I'm not sure that would be my go-to advertising, honestly. Um, like Uncharted, it
To be
was a
totally
movie.
honest with you, the
Like,
thing that I'm most
I saw it.
surprised about
I
is that
was mostly
apparently
entertained for
there's
2
going to
hours,
be a
but
sequel
it's
to
not something
Spaceballs.
that I would put in my highlight reel. Um, so it's like, yeah.
Yeah, he's still alive.
I don't need another Uncharted, but am I surprised they're making another Uncharted? No.
Yeah, exactly. It's a money grab. It's an absolute money grab. Yeah. Blazing
saw that.
Saddles and
apparently Mel
Running Men
Brooks is
Tights.
involved, and I forgot that Mel Brooks was still alive. Like, that's how I feel about it.
Yep.
Because, like, I mean, like we grew up on the Mel Brooks movies, like Spaceballs and Robin Hood Men in Tights. Yes, like great movies, and then you got into the whole terrible, scary movie thing, where they just
to be
had
honest with you,
endless retreads of
I just
terrible
was thinking about
parodies.
this. Do you know how many of the actors that
I'm
were in
hoping
the
that
original Spaceballs
Spaceballs
are
2,
dead
I'm
now?
just calling it that, gets
A
back
lot.
to the original good parody that Mel Brooks is known for, and
Really
not
bad.
just terrible, trashy, bad parodies. I'm not hopeful.
No, they sadly will not be in there. But, anyways, yeah. And then Zealeus made mention of the Borderlands trailer.
That makes me
they
feel
have
bad
officially
about it.
come out with the rating for the Borderlands movie, and it's going to be the dreaded PG-13.
Well, I guess they won't be making. I guess they won't be in the sequel.
Nor am I. Yeah. But okay. This is what drives me nuts. You're creating something based on a property that is R or mature rated, because video games are rated M for mature.
I'm not surprised.
And then you basically give it a T rating.
Disappointed,
but on
maybe,
the
but
movie
not
side, so PG-13.
surprised.
Yep. Yeah.
And we've shown through movies like Deadpool that a well done rated R movie will still get eyeballs.
So what
So
you're
that's the
telling me
thing.
is
Like,
it's gonna be
it
shit.
felt like PG-13 is all of a sudden this
Thanks.
panacea of success in eyeballs. No, if anything, making a PG-13 to cater towards kids
I was
actually dilutes your
excited
product,
when it was first announced that
and
there was
then
going to be a
people like you
Borderlands
and
movie,
I,
and
who
I
would
saw
otherwise
some
be
of the
interested,
casting.
are
I'm
going
like,
to
all
be more
right.
like,
Then I saw some more casting. I'm like,
eh.
okay. And then I saw some of the stuff. I'm like, okay. And now the PG-13 rating. I'm like, call
I'm
me when it's on
hopeful,
Prime or on
but I would
Netflix or
put my,
something.
if I were a betting
'cause-
man, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
the trailer looked fun, but it's also very easily one of those things where, like,
Yeah.
the 2-minute trailer is literally the best and only good 2 minutes of the movie. Would also not
Yeah.
be surprising. Yeah. It's
Yep.
kind of like I worry it's going to be honestly like the new Bad Boys 2 movie, where they try to have all these funny jokes and then have some action around it, so it feels kind of forced and campy. Versus the other way around,
Yep.
where I mean, Borderlands, it's all about going around and blowing shit up, right? But then you have these crazy zany characters who give you like a reprieve from that, and that's
Yep.
why I like it, because like it's a release
Right,
from the game
absolutely.
itself. Even your interactions with the enemies are the same way. Like, you're going around fragging all these people, all of a sudden they like say crazy lines to you. You're like, okay, and you blow them up.
Yeah.
But I'm afraid it's gonna be the other way around, where in the movie it's gonna be like, oh, I'm the evil guy. I'm gonna make funny jokes at you, and then I shoot you once.
I think
And
I've.
it's like it's gonna
I'm
but not in a good
really
way.
just.
So that's my worry. Is it's gonna try
Unless
being
unless
this
someone wants
campy,
to
corny,
gift me a
funny
ticket, I
movie
think I'll just wait for streaming at this point.
first, and that just yeah. But we'll see. Um, it's definitely I'm gonna see what the
Yeah.
reviews are before I even thinking about seeing it. Well,
Right.
that's why I saw Bad Boys. I was with my dad and we wanted to see a movie. I'm like, sure, Bad Boys is out. So we saw it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, that's what I'm
long
saying. But
gone are the days
outside of that, I generally
"Oh,
don't go
I'm
to see
bored.
movies in the
I'll go to the
theater
movie theater."
anyways. I did see Mad Max, which was great. But like, if
That's-
it's known to be a big movie theater movie, that's a little bit different to me. Borderlands, I don't care if it's
No.
in the theater or in my
No,
home. But
no, thank you.
yeah.
Real quick, Zealeus, what are you gonna be playing, my friend?
Well, I mean,
Mhm,
of course, there's
mhm.
also the cost of it now, where it's like $15 to see a movie and everything else that goes into it. I'm like, yeah.
Nice.
So I did finish up the Final Fantasy 14 expansion main story quest lines. I need
Mhm,
to finish up Diablo 4 before season 5, and I don't think that's going to happen. But over my sojourn through the Midwest,
Yep.
I was
Yep.
playing a lot of Civilization 6 on my Switch.
I am still
It
playing a
was the
shit ton of Hades
perfect
2.
like respite
So I think I
on
talked about
vacation in
this.
July.
You start in the
Hold it out.
crossroads. You're basically in an
So yeah, that's what
in-between
I'll be playing.
spot. And
I
this
know I've been
game,
saying that
instead
for a
of
while now
going
with
only one direction,
Final
because in
Fantasy
the first
14
Hades,
Diablo, but it's like
you're
when you get in
basically
that
going from
content and there's
the
new content coming
bowels
out, you
of
gotta get ready for
hell
the
up
content.
to the actual terra firma to go see your mom. This one, you're in the crossroads, is basically kind of like a midway point, and half the game you're trying to go back down into the bowels, and then half the game you are headed to Mount Olympus to help out the gods with the problem. And I have made it all the way down to the bottom and got my ass handed to me by that boss every single time, because he definitely has one of those dreaded final boss. I change. Oh yeah. I was like, yes, I finally got him. It's like, oh, now we're really gonna get serious. Like, no, I didn't get him. And then going in the Mount Olympus direction, it is not as well. Um, uh, they haven't done as much in that direction. So when you're going
No.
for the crossroads down, you have four bosses. The fourth boss is the last boss. And then when you go in the other direction, you only have two bosses. And once you beat the second boss, which I finally did, that bitch went down. It basically pops up. Thank you for playing the game. There's many adventures left to be had. But let's just say that you ran into some trouble on your way to your ascension of Mount Olympus, and you end up back in the crossroads. So, yep. Well, I mean, you can already see some of the placeholders have swapped out. All of the as you play through the game. One thing, be it Hades 1 or Hades 2, when you get the nectar of the gods, make sure that you at least give one bottle of nectar to everybody that you can give nectar
So
to,
that is
because
part
they'll
of
give
being in
you a
early
little
access.
keepsake.
Is there's still
They'll
more to
help you along your journey. Supergiant Games has switched out. I think they've now got the final art for all of those keepsakes. I'm still missing one keepsake. I'm not exactly sure who the hell I missed. But yeah, the invisible god. No, I think it's probably one of the side quests, which I don't think I can actually complete. Yeah, but and of course, just like Hades, the first Hades and the second Hades, you have several different weapons that you get to use.
Probably the invisible.
There's a little bit more. I would say farming in this one, where you're having to like get raw materials to cast spells.
You can't actually do them yet.
To unlock more stuff. Instead of, I think, well, I'm trying to remember in Hades 1 if you were like really collecting a lot of stuff. I think you're just trying to gain a lot of gold. But anyways, it's a great game. I've been playing a shit ton of that. If I'm not at my computer, I'm playing Legends of Runeterra on my cell phone. And if I'm looking for something slightly different, or in the middle, or I need a little bit of change in the middle of the day, I picked up, which was heavily discounted at the time, a game called Journey to the Savage Planet, which is a first-person kind of like action adventure shooter game. It's kind of weird. It's kind of silly. It kind of gives me sort of Metroid vibes, simply because you're unlocking these abilities. Like you gain, once you find a certain something, you can now have a grappling hook. Once you find a certain material, now you can actually hold on to the little bomb pod that you find. They won't explode in your hand if you just hold them for too long. So you're finding these like ancient altars that give you material that once you go back to your ship, you can use your 3D printer to create new stuff to allow you to not instead of just having single jump, now you got double jump or triple jump, or you got a jetpack now. That would be awesome. Random side note, I had my garage door broke recently, and when the guy came to repair it, he saw my my kid's sword from Final Fantasy VII, and he's like, "Oh man, I gotta go. My new 3D printer's coming
I wish I
tomorrow.
could
I'm
create a
gonna
double jump out of my
3D
3D
print a
printer.
Buster sword when I get home." I'm like, "You go, dude." Anyways, all right. One more thing, real quick. The interviews from MomoCon. The videos did not get eaten up, but unless you enjoy myself and the person I'm interviewing screaming over the sound,
Nice.
the loud noises of MomoCon, you're not going to enjoy the interviews. So I think I'm going to have to redo them because, I mean, yes, the audio is fine. It's not like we were spiking it, but you could definitely tell that we're trying to yell at each other so that we could have a conversation. So it's just the quality is not good, and I think I could do better on content as well. So I'm going to try to figure out a way to redo those interviews virtually and make them a little bit more custom to each of their projects. So they'll probably as a result, they'll probably be a little bit longer. So I don't know when, but be on the lookout for that in the future.
Makes sense.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in to the Ultra Fusion Thursday Night Hangout. For myself, Charlie, and Zealeus, it's been a pleasure giving everything come our heads, our mouths, and of course, our hearts. We'll be back next Thursday for another Ultra Fusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Remember, kids, keep on gaming in the free world.
Amen to that, brother. And we're out.
Remember,
and
kids, keep on gaming
recording
in the
for
free
a couple
world.
more seconds because I know that this damn system is being weird. The one thing that I don't like about the Savage Planet game is that in order to like unlock upgrades to like your gun or to your jumping ability, you've got these scientific experiments that you got to do, and some of them are just like absolutely by chance. It's like you kill
You never
four
know what
creatures
might stop.
that are stuck in a binding solution. It's something that you unlock and you can throw on the ground, and if the creatures are there, they get stuck in there. But you got to kill like 4 of them in like a span of like 5 seconds. Or there's one where there's a flying like octopus thing that you got to shoot down, but you have to shoot them down while it's flying over other monsters and have the falling the act of falling and releasing its acid spit or whatever kill the monsters. I'm like, oh my god. So it's a pain. But I mean, I think I'm, hold on, let me see here. I have 31% of the achievements unlocked. I think I've played just over 9. No, it's not really 9 hours. It's really 6 hours because I accidentally left the game on and like did grocery shopping.
Like sounds
did
painful.
A bunch of shit and came back like, oh, this is still on. And then I've also played a good chunk of the expansion, which I can't remember what the name of the expansion is off the top of my head, but it's meant to be silly stupid, so yeah. And I have played completely solo. I have not had I've not tried to do co-op.
Are you ever going to try? I think I know the answer to that.
Probably not. I wonder if you could do hot seat co-op. If you could do hot seat co-op, I might be convinced to let my kids go because one of them, one of the achievements is you slapped your co-op partner. I'm sure you had a good reason for it.
Are you ever going to try? I think I know the answer to that.
But yeah.
Yeah, I
You're
got you.
thrown. You're basically an indentured
Ooh.
servant. You get thrown onto this this world that's supposed to be empty, but there's all these ancient ruins on the on the planet, and it's freaking a lot of people out. But they're like, you got to investigate. We got to figure out what's going on, why we didn't catch all this stuff, and then of course you got to kill a lot of weird ass funky monsters. Much more entertaining than Starfield. I said much more entertaining than Starfield.
That kind of says something when it's
Yeah.
when it's more entertaining than Starfield.
Hiya. Hiya. Well, anyways. All right, we are going to end this stream, ladies and gentlemen. So I will
Kill
see
them all, man.
everybody
Or kill
at
them
least
all.
on Tuesday.